Coming up, it's just me this week. I think I scared off Kendall and Cam and Carter. So you guys are just getting the frozen Grizzly this week on this episode of the panel. It'll be a quick one. We're talking Player of the Week snubs, Kyle Mitchell. We're talking MVP race, midpoint of the season, and looking forward to next week's matchups on Tuesday the 20th. And the defensive player of the league, and predicting what the ballots might be on this episode of the panel, which I'm calling right now the milk and wine edition of the panel, because the stuff I say on here is either going to age like milk or it's going to age like wine. So I have a feeling like I don't make any other predictions that kind of ride the fence. They're either over here tasting like a spicy cab sab, or they're over here tasting like rotting milk. The stuff that's only good to give to the kittens. You know what I mean? Okay. So really quick, player of the week snub. We'll look at Kyle Mitchell, 35 and 11, pretty impressive double double. I mean, given that he went up against Kendall Weens and had 35 and 11, there were a couple times I was watching the game where I saw Kendall shaking his head down the floor after Kyle Mitchell scored a bucket. He was feeling himself pretty good after that game. Would I put it over a 22 and 23 performance? I would if I didn't also see that his matchup had 23 points. Kendall put up or 23 or 25 points. If he was able to shut down Kendall a little bit more effectively, maybe get some steals off of him, maybe I'd put it up there as well. Jared Alexander, just the sheer numbers of it. We're going to ride with Jared Alexander on that pick there for player of the week. Really quick, I'm going to rattle off these MVP candidates, who my picks are for the MVP candidates, and we will see. We'll see what everybody in the league has to tell me. I guarantee I'm going to get my ears bit off by a couple of people about some snubs, but we'll see. We're going to call this version of the panel, or I already said, yeah, it's milk and wine. These could age like milk, or they could age like wine. I'm going to put this up there. Nobody's ever averaged even close to almost 30 in the league. Check last season's stats. Nobody was really that close to average 30 points again. Zach Many Great Horses, for those sheer numbers alone, gets on my MVP list. And then we go right into Jackson Casco. Now he can fall off the list. I hate to see it. Did get injured a week ago. Called in Chris for the sub last week. We hope to see him make a speedy recovery. As the media manager for Casco Crush, I am no longer allowed to say anything more about the injury status of Jackson Casco. Billy Martin. Billy Martin is a movable piece here. I don't want to put any disrespect on Billy's name because I've learned my lesson. However, if I were to pick someone from Surf Squad, I'd have to pick Justin Surface as a solid pick for an MVP valid. He's having an MVP season, and his record shows. Their record shows. Milkesa Galmo, he is taken on every single role that a short king can take on in the league. And Milkesa Galmo He's been putting up points, dishing out the rock, and doing everything for his team. Um, and this is probably um, one of my more milk predictions, but I don't care. I'm loyal to the soil, as they say. Carter Hendricks, I'd also throw him on my MVP list. Um, Down the stretch, he's been winning games by one shot for Greenolytics. You don't have Carter Hendricks on your squad, Greeno. I'm sorry to say, but you guys are not 4-1. You're 2-2. So um, there's two games that, or sorry, well, five. No, that's five total games. Uh, you guys would have lost two, so you'd be 2-3. Um, so I'm sorry to say, but you know, aliens have the laser pointed at the Earth. Make a three before we blow up your planet. I want Carter Hendricks taking that shot. You know, and I feel the way that we measure stuff over here at the Milk and Wine Predictions is player impact, and I think Carter Hendricks has been balling with an absolute um, demon kind of mindset and something to prove. I think he really took Cam and Logan being picked over him to a personal soul like level, and he's ready to prove himself. Former MVP candidate. Um, I don't see why he can't be on the MVP ballot again this year if he keeps on having the season that he's had. I mean, it makes it easy when you're playing with Greeno and Kendall, uh, two of the toughest guys in the league as well. Some honorable mentions for MVP: Seb Holkstra, carrying the load for principal's office. Mike Greeno, that's another one that I'd throw up there. Um, I mean, Ruben Roth, if he had made a couple of games, Carson Barch, obviously. I got Jackson Casco on here, but we're looking at Nick Gibb, Cam Penner, Billy Martin, just to name a few. Some guys that are really carrying the load for their teams, but uh, um, maybe not doing the most on the team, or maybe the record doesn't necessarily reflect what they can do on a basketball court. This all coming from a guy who averages two shots a game and has a 14% field goal. Has a 14% field goal average. So take it with the fattest grain of salt. Um, I just love talking hoops, and I love hooping with everybody here. Um, Now to wrap this thing up, because I know everybody's busy. You want to get back to camping on your May long weekend. To wrap this thing up, I'm going to give you my MVP valid, my top five guys in the league that I think I'm going to be voting for at the end of the season. Here, right here, we're gonna do it just raw and ready for you guys. Okay, I am taking. I'm gonna put Justin Surface down. I'm gonna put Justin Surface down. I'm gonna put Milkesa. I'm gonna put Milkesa down. And it's hard to pick just one guy from Greenolytics. Honestly, it's a coin flip between. I mean, I'm gonna take Carter Hendricks. That's three. What is it? Two more. Maybe just one more. Depending on the season that we have. Well, You know what? I'm not going to make any predictions about my situation. Don't want to give away the cards. Don't want to play the ace before I have to cash out here. Do I take an honorable mention up there? You know what? Oh man, that's hard. I'm gonna put Seb. I'm gonna put Seb as my in my fifth spot here. Seb Holkstra. If he's not on the MVP ballot, he's at least up there for Rookie of the Year. I think that's a coin flip between him and Nick. And am I putting two from? No, no. I gotta ride with one per team there. Oh man, let's screw it. Billy, Billy Martin. Maybe there's a floater spot with Seb there. I don't know. They've just been putting up points and winning games for their squad. I don't know. That's tough. But then I'm ignoring everybody on Tim's Tropics. Kidding me? Ah, Dylan Laturnis, most improved player. Ah, man, this is too hard. You know what? I'll stick with that. I'll stick with that. And if the commission wants to just absolutely bury these in the soil that he's planting a bunch of sorghum in, then you know what? Then he absolutely can. I don't know. I'm also ignoring the 29 points per game. You know what? I'll say it's a floater spot between Billy and Zach. There we go. Eric can sleep at night. All right. Billy Martin, Zach Mini Gray Horses. Interchangeable. Ah, hey, dude, that's too hard. I don't know how you do it, Junior Commish. How do you make the ballot? How do you do the power rankings? Don't lie, by the way. We all know it's you. Ah, dude. Man, that's too tough. All right. Next week, we're doing Defensive Player of the Year. Should be easier. Um, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved. We'll see what we get up to. Thanks for tuning into this version of the pod. See you next week.